guys, welcome back to the channel. It is your girl Lana Simone. So first of all, I wanted to welcome you guys in. I hope you're having an amazing day. So today we're going to get right into the video. We're going to be talking about the chief in charge. And you know, I don't know about you, but for me, when I hear the word chief, or I hear something like somebody being in charge, usually what comes to mind is like somebody is the head of something. And like that's the person, like usually the chief is the person that people report to, and you know, it's just a person that holds a really high title, and most of the time they're above a lot of people. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today. And you know, not in the sense of like a chief that we report to at work or something like that, but I'm talking about the chief in this instance as God, and God being the chief over our lives, and just the one who we really should be making sure we're honoring and serving and living for to our best ability. You know, I think oftentimes, you know, sometimes the word chief can make people feel scared. It can make people feel like, oh my God, like I don't really know. Like when you know you have to report to the chief, you start getting worried. You try to make sure everything is in order. Like you just try to get your life together, okay? Because you know, if you report to the chief and you tell him you ain't got your stuff together, he gonna be looking at you like, ma'am or sir, no, we're not doing that, and it's not gonna be good. So you know, but one thing about you know, God and being the chief of our life is that, you know, as we go on our walk with Christ and really build our relationship with him, we understand and know that it's a journey. Like it's a journey that we are able to just grow and develop new things on, you know, really evolve and grow on it. And so, you know, oftentimes I think people look at God as this chief. They look at him as the chief that's really scary and really really scary and really just kind of just like a not a good person that you want to, you know, really talk to or report your life to, because you just feel like he will just, you know, make you feel bad about everything that you're doing if you're not doing, you know, what's right. And so, you know, that's really not the case. You know, God, one thing that he desires is that we can live a life that's holy and righteous and pleasing unto him. But he does also understand that we're human. We're not perfect. We're never going to be perfect. Thank God. Okay. But he allows us to really grow and learn, and just, you know, he allows us to make mistakes. You know, ultimately we don't want to make mistakes forever and constantly repeating and doing the same thing, because, you know, our bad actions do have consequences. And so, you know, that's something we can't avoid, but we want to do our best to make sure that we're living a life that's pleasing and honoring to him, because at the end of the day, when this life ends, we do have to report to somebody. We do have to report to the chief that's in charge, which is God. And we don't want it to be a scary thing. We don't want it to be like a really like frightening thing that people think about. Like, you know, people be like overthinking and panicking just to think like, you know, when that time comes, that Jesus comes back and, you know, we have to go through judgment day and, you know, all that stuff. Like that stuff is very real, but we don't have to get in a panic about it. We don't have to worry about it. If as long as we take the necessary steps while we are on earth right now and do the best we can and live a good, righteous life and that's pleasing unto God. And so, you know, that doesn't require you to be perfect because you're human, but it just requires you to do your best. You know, yes, we'll make mistakes. Yes, we might sin. Yes, we might do things that are not pleasing to God, but what are you doing to learn from those things? You know, we don't want to continue to make the same mistakes over and over and over again. We want to get to a point in our life where we can start learning from these things that constantly take us back or constantly, you know, keep us at a standstill, because we want to push past that and we want to go forward and we want to do what's right. You know, now when you know something, like it's one thing when you do something and you have no other knowledge to know that it's not wrong, but once you do something and you're told that, you know, now you know that it's not right, it's up to you to make a choice. It's up to you to make a decision to now moving forward what you're going to do, because it's one thing when you don't know, but it's another thing when you do know. So now that you know, and like on your walk with God, when you start knowing right from wrong, when you start knowing the things that he has called us to live by and called us to do, then now you are held to a different, you should be held to a different standard in your life, and not forcefully, but willingly, because now you know something different and you know what's right to do. So it's like up to you to be obedient and just, do the things that are right, because why? At the end of the day, that's what's going to get you the best result in life. God doesn't give us instructions. He doesn't give us biblical standards. He doesn't give us principles to live by to punish us, to make us feel bad. No, he gives it to us so we have direction for our life, so we have some sort of structure for our life, so that we can live a life that's pleasing and honoring to him. So once that day does come, when we do report to the chief and meet the chief in charge, okay, we're ready for that. We won't be anxious, we won't be worried, because why? We're starting now to live that lifestyle, live the life that God has called us to live, and that's pleasing and honoring to him. And so that's just one thing I wanted you to think about. Don't be anxious and don't be worried about the future day, that future day that will come. Eventually Jesus will return. And, it's going to be sooner than later, and I know that people say that all the time, and you're like, people have been saying that for 50 million years and Jesus didn't come back. Listen, he's coming back, okay? And he's coming back sooner than we think. So until that day comes, we want to just make sure we're doing what we can do now while we still have the choice, while we still are willing and able and are just here on this earth. We have a choice now. So we want to make sure in our decision making, in our choices, in our way we are living, we're really pleasing and honoring God in the best way. So, if you don't know what that looks like, reach out to God, start reading the Bible, start looking at people that actually, truly live for God and not putting up a facade, but really actually live for God, and just watch their lives and let that be an example for you. To just want to live by, if you don't know what to do, just look at somebody who's doing it. Like, if you want to look at me, you could. But I do my best to live a life that's pleasing and honoring to God, whether that's if I'm in front of the camera or behind the scenes. If people know me personally, they know that I don't just talk this on the screen. I actually live exactly what I'm telling you. And so that's just, a real blessing to be able to, not only talk about it, but live it, like I say to people, okay? But, it's something, when you just start, you really have to start with the relationship, wanting the relationship with God in your life. And after that, he just takes you, on the journey. He really just helps you along your way, and your life and your lifestyle, you just naturally want to just start changing and doing what's right, so just know that God is there. He may be the chief in charge, okay, but he's not scary. He's not like somebody to fear and be like, oh my God, like run and hide. And no, like, don't look at him like that. Just look at him as somebody that really just wants the best for you and just wants to see you succeed. And so it's not like he's checking in with you and to make you feel bad and like, okay, what are you doing today? Are you not doing this? You're not doing this? No, he just wants to make sure you're on the path that's going to get you the best result. You're on the path that's going to in the end allow you to be able to get granted access into heaven and into eternity, which is our ultimate goal. So we got to think about that. A lot of people don't think about that, but we got to start thinking about that, because it's real. And it will come to pass sooner than we think. So, you guys, just be encouraged today. Just, know that God is our help. God is the one who loves us. God is really, desires to allow us to experience life. He wants us to experience life in the best way possible and with the best outcomes possible. So reach out to him for help, report your bad and good days to him. Like, he wants to hear about it. And don't feel bad about the bad days or your bad choices, because you can't grow and you can't learn and you can't move forward and do something different if you don't ever discuss and, evaluate what went wrong and why you keep on doing the same thing or sinning the same way. Like, you gotta sit down with yourself, sit down with God and say, listen, you just gotta be honest with him and he will help you through it. So, just be encouraged today. Just know that God is with you, God is for you, and God loves you. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.